10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Halloween. Welcome to Gold Fever Radio. It's the Halloween special. You know, we got to do this every single year for Halloween. So it's closing up to Halloween. Welcome to Halloween. Let's see, what the hell is today anyway? Today is October 26th. Ooh. It's hard for me to see here. Let's see. I got to focus. You got to focus. Let's see here. I'm having a hard time focusing. I think I'm losing my mind. I can't see too good. We may have to wait on that a little bit. I got some notes here, though. I tell you that. I got some notes. Well, let's see. Today is National Pumpkin Day. Yeah, pumpkin's no good. And it's also National Mincemeat Day. Yeah, no good. Let's see, on this day in history, in 1881, it was a shootout at the OK Corral. It happened right here in Arizona, Tombstone, Arizona. Yeah, bang, yeah. They were shooting each other. That happened on this day. 1881, yeah. And let me see here. Wow, there is only 65 days left till the end of the year. Ooh. Okay, let's see if I can see anything else that's going on here. Let's see. Let's see, I can't read that too well. I think that says ORG UE. MG Toe, welcome. David Villa, welcome. Richard Bill, welcome. Welcome. Richard Bill, and let me see. Patty's Adventures, welcome. Yeah, I know you like purple. Yeah, my special hair. Let's see. Soup Freak. Let's say, anyway, welcome. Craig Elliott, welcome, everybody, welcome. So it is our Halloween special. What else is going on here? Let's see, we got a Patreon outing November 11th and 12th and 13th up in Meadview, Arizona. That's up by Lake Mead in northern Arizona. We're going to go look for gold. Yeah, gold nuggets. Let's see. We got our New Year's extravaganza going on here. That is December 28th through 1/1. That's a lot of fun. If you want more information, call 928-851-7167. Yeah. Let's see here. I'm losing my mind. It's also getting awful hot in here. I may have to take a break. Let me see. You know, one thing that we have done every single Halloween. Let's see. Who else is in here? Marabella. I think that says that. I have a hard time seeing, you know. It's really foggy. So I have, let me see where I got. One of the very special things that we do every Halloween is we like to play spooky music. So guess what we're going to start things off with something very spooky. And we can talk about gold, or we can talk about your spooky situation. Anybody got any scary stories they want to share? Whoa, happy Halloween!
Once there was a man who was married to a lady called Elvira. And Elvira had a golden arm. It was solid, shining gold. It ran from her shoulder right down to her fingers. Elvira was very proud of her golden arm, so proud that before she went to sleep at night, she would say to her husband, "If I happen to die, promise me you'll bury me with my golden arm." And he always said he would. Night after night she would ask him, and night after night he would promise. And one night, Elvira died. And the husband buried her just as he had promised, with her golden arm. And life went on for the husband. He was lonely, naturally. He had his work on the farm, he had his friends, but things weren't the same. He couldn't seem to pay attention to his work, and things went from bad to worse. And little by little, he sold the farm animals, then the carts, then the barn. And lying in bed one night, he began to think about Elvira and her golden arm. He thought about what he could do with all that gold. And it seemed a shame that Elvira's arm was buried deep in the ground. And the more he thought, the more he had to have that arm. But he had promised Elvira, and yet he needed the gold in her golden arm. At midnight, he got out of bed, dressed in his warmest clothes because it was bitter cold outside. He took his lantern and a shovel. There was no moon, and he walked in the black night to Elvira's grave, the lantern shining on the road in front of him, making shadows that half scared the man to death. And if he didn't want that golden arm so badly, he would have turned around and gone home, where it was safe and warm. He came to Elvira's grave. The ground was hard because of the cold, but he dug and he dug. The hole got deeper and deeper. The night became colder and colder. And he finally reached Elvira's coffin. He opened the coffin, reached in, and took the golden arm. He covered up the coffin and fixed the earth around the grave so that no one would know what had been done. It began to snow and hail, and the wind got louder and louder as the man started back for home with the golden arm under his coat. He lit a fire, warmed himself, and looked around for some place to hide the golden arm. The only place that was safe, he thought, was under the covers of his bed. He jumped into bed and tried to keep warm, but the golden arm was cold, very cold, and the man shivered and shook. He tried to sleep, but somehow he couldn't. He tried to close his eyes, but he was afraid to keep them shut. He didn't know why. Maybe it was the wind that was keeping him awake, because it got louder and louder, and then... he heard a voice in the wind. It was calling, "Where is my golden arm? Imagination, the man thought. It had to be because it couldn't be anything else. But he pulled the covers over his head. He didn't want to hear the sound, or was it a voice? What was it saying? Where is my golden arm? He got out of bed to make sure. He looked out towards the road. He could hardly see it from his window. It was so dark out, but the wind carried a voice saying, Where is my golden arm? He went to the door to listen, to be sure. And he heard it. Where is my golden arm? And he looked into the cellar, and the voice called to him, Where is my golden arm? And the man shook and shivered, and to be safe, he went back to bed. And he still heard the voice coming from all around him, from the windows, under the door, under the bed, from the closet. And it cried and called and howled, Where is my golden arm? And then he saw it. Where is my golden arm? At the foot of his bed. And it jumped right at him. You've got it. They say that whenever the wind howls late at night, that it's Elvira coming to find her golden arm. Do you have it?
Oh my gosh. That was the golden arm. No, I don't have no golden arm under the desk. I don't even have a heater under the desk. That was so scary. That would even make a clown cry. Yeah, I'm here. I'm just here clowning around. Let's see, what do we read again? GS Prospecting, welcome. Vendetta Prospecting, welcome. Daniel Grubby, let's see, I saw other people in there too. Who did I see? Let's see if I can scroll up here. It's hard to see here. Terry Curry, welcome. And who did I miss? Thomas, welcome, Thomas. Anyway, so, man, what's everybody doing? You know what? I think I got to get out of this costume. It's starting to scare me and I can't see too well. I think I'll go over to the neighbors and say trick or treat. They'd probably shoot me. I'm pretty sure they would shoot me. It is our Halloween special. Let me get out of here. Woo! It's me. It's just me. It is me. I can see. I can see again. Have any of you guys ever did any ghost hunting? Let's see. Super Freaks Mess. Hi, Jack. One time, while out metal detecting, I heard two women whispering behind me. When I turned around, no one was there, but the voices were coming from a grave in the middle of the desert. Ooh, now that's scary. That's scary. Now that the temps are down, it's time to hit the secret spots before the fair weather campers fill up. That is right. Get out there. Hey, God, put that mask back on. Welcome, Brad. Willy, shiny gold. That's Brad and his willy, shiny gold. I have right back there some. I have some willy, shiny gold right here, Brad. See? Right there, some willy, shiny gold. What that says? That says Brad's Gold Tats. Right there, that's a treasure. Anyways, So, you guys, what's your scary stories? I know Brad has said that he's been out on the claim before, and he has heard Tommy knockers coming from the mines. If your screen is frozen, you got to refresh. Cheers, man. We aren't seeing you. Frozen pic of you. Not of me. I'm not frozen. You might be frozen. It looks like the video. Everybody's saying the video's frozen. I don't see no frozen video. I am fine. I am fine. Refresh your screen. Maybe see if that doesn't help. But it does. I'm not frozen. I see me just fine. If it unfrozen, Jack, you're frozen. Everybody's telling me I'm frozen. Okay, I won't move. How's this? Am I frozen? I don't know why you guys think I'm frozen for. I'm not frozen. Let's go. I want to go see if we can play a commercial then if I'll unfreeze and we'll come right back, okay?
ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the only monthly gold prospecting magazine published in the United States and is the most comprehensive and respected magazine about gold prospecting on the market today. With readers in all 50 states, it features articles on detecting, high banking, dredging, small-scale operations, assaying, basic geology, how to read the land, regulations, and more. Our monthly Ask the Experts column is answered by true experts. It features answers to readers' questions on processing, detecting, geology, and any other questions you may have related to finding and recovering gold and other precious metals. The Mining Journal features the most extensive selection of equipment, mining properties, services, and more, and a classified section featuring over 20 times more new and used items than the nearest competitor. The Mining Journal has been in continuous publication since 1931. A full 12 issues is available for just $27.95, and discounts are available for 2- and 3-year subscriptions. And an online subscription gives you access to over 3,000 articles going back nearly 20 years. Our purpose is to teach you how to find more gold. ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal is the tool you need to succeed. It's time to raise your gold prospecting knowledge to the next level with ICMJ's Prospecting and Mining Journal. Give us a call at 831-479-1500 or visit www.icmj.com. That's www.icmj.com.
Oh, see, now I'm blurry. Wow, now I'm blurry. What the hell? There, now I'm back to normal again. Wow. That purple guy put a frozen spell on you. Put a spell on you. Oh, yes, he did. Anyways, hopefully everything's back to normal again. John McAfee. Welcome, John. It's good to see you out and about. Black screen now. Black screen. You don't see the screen behind me? Now there's no picture at all. Refresh your screen there. Now there's a black screen. What the hell is going on here? Let me make me disappear and come on. Now I'm back again. I don't know if that does anything. I probably should have not have played with the backgrounds and stuff like that, trying to make a virtual background and stuff like that. I probably should have not have done that, but I did do that. So still the same. Definitely a curse. Anything better? See a pumpkin background. Put black screen where you should be. Huh. Let's see here. I don't know what's going on, man. You say you can't see me? I don't know what's happening. You think? Are you running on a camera in the drawer? Yeah. Let me change cameras. See if that'll help. If I change cameras, let's switch over to this camera. Wow. Is that camera any? Wow. Man, that camera's different, isn't it? Does that camera change anything? Is your camera on? Yeah, my camera's on. Does that do anything? Can you see me now? How about now? I used the different camera. Are you running? See you now. All right. I don't like this camera. This camera, but this is the computer's camera. If I can lower this down, maybe I can't, huh? Oh, I can't. It's too high. Oh well, I just got to live with that. So, cheers, everybody. Happy Halloween, Mark Marabella. Oh, you guys were asking for stickers. I want to show you guys something here. I'm working on some new stickers. Hopefully I could have them by next week. On next week's show, I can give them away. Let me show you guys these stickers that I'm working on. Let's see if I can find them. You guys tell me what you think, okay? Give me your opinion on these stickers right here. What do you guys think of a sticker like that? Think that's a cool sticker? Hello over there. Hello over there. Hey, what are you doing? Not much. What are you doing? Oh, just hanging in. What are you doing? Oh, I just there. Are you my twin? Sometimes I am. Well, you shouldn't be doing that. Anyways, what do you guys think of that? Nice. You like it? Like it? So that's the stickers that I'm working on. Okay. So anyway, I should have some stickers next week. By next week. Oh, you know what? Oh, I got to go through my magic gold pen right here. If you guys ever hunt for gold, you know, you got to have like, they call this a REM pod. And, you know, you put this out and about, and you call the ghost and you say, is there any ghost in here? Come and talk to me. And since ghost, ooh, whoa, just like that. Oh, see, there's, okay, I heard you. Now, is there any ghost in here? I heard you. Okay, quit it. Okay, is there any ghost in here? Come and, okay, I better shut it off because there's definitely ghost in here. It keeps telling me there's ghost in there. Okay, all right. I guess I summoned the ghost. And then you got to have these, what they call the ghost box. That it functions, you know, the sweep of the radio, and it picks up voices. You say, hello, can you hear me? Talk to me. Tell me your, anyways, we don't want to talk to no ghosts right now. Okay, there's, these are like little meters here. Some of these, the batteries are dead. This is an EDI meter. It gives you temperature, and it tells you if somebody comes close to the thing or not. Okay. Anyway, there's that there. This is another little gauge. This tells you temperature. It's got a dead battery too. These ghosts, they drain your batteries. This here is a what you call a camera that sees in the dark. I think they call that infrared, huh? This here is a meter that when ghosts get by, you know, they light up. See, I'm not a ghost, so it doesn't light up for me, but when ghosts get by, all that electrical energy, it lights up. You would think that computer had a lot of energy. Anyway. And then you've got to have the meters that show you ghosts, you know, your infrareds. I like to use this also when I'm going into mine shafts. Use these infrared cameras because the infrared cameras can, they detect the heat, I should say. They're whatever you call them, heat cameras, you know. So you see the heat. Oh, see, I'm cold right there. Oh, man, that's a cool picture. Man. Anyway, so you got to have one of those type of cameras too. Okay. That's just some of my ghost hunting stuff. Power off. Okay. All right. So let's do this here. What did I do? Oh, I threw my notes away. Uh-oh. Where did my notes go that I threw away earlier? I need them now. Oh, there they are right there. Okay. I said I was going to give gold away. So on the last video that I did last week, this was the gold that came from whatever I was running last week's video. I put it in this sand right here, the gold. So I was going to ask you a question, and the first person that could answer that question in the chat room will get this. If nobody gets it, then we'll do it again next week. So you'll have another chance to watch the video and I'll answer a question. And the gold from this week's video that I'll probably post on Friday, that was some decent gold. I was crushing rocks and I got some decent gold out of it. So if you watch that one, then next Wednesday I'll ask you questions about that one. So the question I'm going to ask for this one is, what do you hook onto the frame? Nothing to hold it back. What am I talking about? If anybody knows that answer. Yeah, Wayne Peterson, welcome, 1942. You're so dang close. I can't believe it. AU Mark, no, that's not the answer for that. Rock, yeah, no. Oh, Daniel Grubby. Look at that. Daniel Grubby got that. Woo, Daniel, that's right. I did mention in that video that it is, you got it too, John. Good job. But the Daniel Grubby got that first. Herb got it too. Welcome. God, you guys are like, I'm impressed. But Daniel Grubby got it first, a bungee cord. I did mention that in the video, that you hook a bungee cord onto that. So Daniel Grubby, congratulations. I'm going to send this out to you. Make sure you send me your mailing address. All you other guys, cool, man. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I was cracking rocks, busting some rocks up in the rock crusher this week, and I really got some decent gold. It was really kind of cool. I was impressed by the gold that I got. I got to go back and get some more of those rocks. But so anyways, check that out. I'll probably put that up on Friday. I still got to do some work to it. Anyways, anybody got any cool stories they'd like to share? Any ghost stories? I can tell you some ghost stories, but you know what? I want to hear your guys' ghost stories. You got a treat, dude. Yeah, if you saw the gold in there, that's pretty cool, huh? There was some nice gold in there. So, yes, congratulations. All right. So, anybody got any ghost stories? I'll tell you a ghost story. This ain't really a ghost story, but when I was like about, I think I was about 12 years old, we went to a summer camp. Anyways, a summer camp that I went to. So a bunch of us was in the summer camp, and we worked like that summer. We baled hay, but they paid us for it. And then on the weekend, they take us into the store, and we could spend our money. So me and this other guy, we bought these really cool hunting knives. Well, in the camp there, you weren't allowed to have knives on your possession. So what they called, like, the people that I think they were called housekeepers or something like that. I don't remember. But so when we came back, we tried to sneak our knives in to keep them, and they caught us and they said, turn the knives in. So we gave them our knives. Well, we wanted to keep them knives, but we, anyways, never did. But in the morning when I woke up, that knife was underneath my pillow. Now, tell me how that knife got under my pillow. That was scary. Was the housekeepers coming to stab me or something? Or did I want that knife so bad that I transported it to me? So that was one little thing that happened. I've known other people that say they have seen ghosts and have talked to ghosts in different places. Are they only in Jack? Phone? No, there's no phone in there, David. I got a Skype, but I don't know how to hook it up yet. You would think one day I'll end up working on all of that. But my problem is I just don't have time to to sit and screw with so much stuff, because it's just time consuming. to try to put stuff together like that. But I do want to, let's see, how can I want to play some more scary stuff, but I got to figure out how I get them in to this thing. It's not that way. Settings. Let's see. Guest layouts. Guest. Nope, not through guest. I got to figure out how to get. Not a scary story, but have you heard how Teresa is doing from last week's show? I heard that she's had some spell of bad luck. That she's been having a hard time. I think she had a close friend that was killed or something, and yeah, she got bit by a snake. She was lucky that I don't know if there was any poison in it or not, but she just ran through some bad luck right there. But last I heard, she was all right. See, David, in my godmother's house, her deceased husband would pull the blankets off of your bed. Whoa. That would be spooky, huh? To fight somebody in bed and pulling the covers off and on you all the time. That would be scary. I got to figure out how. There's a way that I can. Heard they caught the guy that killed the gold lady and her husband. Yes, we heard that there. There's like different stories, like 2 people I thought they arrested and they're in jail, and other 2 people committed suicide. So I'm not really sure what all happened, but yeah, they know who the people were, and I think the 2 main ones probably committed suicide when they got chased down. I've been married twice. That was scary. That could be. Let's see. I got to figure out how to get this. How I can get this. Share my screen. That's what I got to try to do. Share the screen. That's what they call that. Share the screen. I got to figure out how to share the screen. I'll figure that out here because that's how I'm going to have these other stories come in. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Huh. Somehow, as I say, I don't play with this stuff all the time there. Who else has scary stories they want to share? Tell us a scary story. Share screen. There we go right there. Let me see what this is like. Okay, share the screen. Okay, what I need to do is, oh man, that ain't going to help me out. That ain't what I want to do. I don't want to do that. Sharing the screen was canceled. How did I do that? See, I was playing with that, and I got that to work, so it's not sharing the screen. So if I don't share the screen, let's see, video file. Is that it? Let's see if I can pull that up on a video file. I'm trying to get this other thing to play. Let's see if this here will play here. Let's see.
Approach as we are taking you to some of the spookiest spots you'll find anywhere on Vancouver Island. Places where things go bump in the night and ghost stories come alive. Tonight we show you around a private museum in Ladysmith. One that has been boarded up for the past few years, but which hasn't been empty.
Originally, it had been a hotel built in Wellington in 1881, and around 1900 it was jacked up, put on skids, and dragged down here by oxen. And it was in pretty bad shape. I actually bought it off the Eagles Lodge. But the building itself is It's over 100 years old and bullet holes in the walls and things. So it had quite a bit of history. The original bar room's still in it and the lobby. There was a guy shot to death in the bar room in 1907 and a few other little cute stories about the building. So it was just right for what I was looking for. I've had a lot of people work for me over the past years, and they've noticed a few odds and ends that have moved, and I've got a grand piano upstairs that I brought with me when I moved into the museum, and every once in a while it'll play 3 notes. Occasionally the next door neighbor across the street or the one up the street have told me that they've seen somebody in the attic. And there's no way into the attic now except for a trap door. And I'm the only one that's been in the attic that I know of in the last 20 years. They keep saying they see a man with a long handlebar mustache up there. And the original owner, who died in the building, that was access to their living quarters up through the attic years ago. He had a long handlebar mustache. It doesn't bother me at all. It bothered my wife a little bit. Well, when we first married and she moved in here, she was a little bit leery, but it's not oozing green slime or anything dangerous, so it's just a noise here or there. Something might move, or the piano plays a couple tunes, or you might hear some footsteps down the old hallway once in a while. But it could be just creaks and groans, or it could be ghosts. Who knows?
Ooh, it could be ghost. It could be ghost. Let's see. Paul, welcome, Paul. I see you into the chat room there. Oh, I'm trying to get rid of. How come that didn't go away? That there. Removed from studio. Okay. Let's see. Jerry says scared the Christ out of anyone. We did it too. What did everybody do? See, Terry, in my younger days, we used to cut notches on the rims of a spool of thread, then put a small spike through the hole, place the spool against the window, grab the thread, and give it a long yank. What was that? What did that do? I don't know what that done. Richard, Lisa, welcome. Trippin' Tommy, welcome. I don't know what that does. Tell me some scary story. No green slime. What a grip. Only thing I remember ever doing with spools of thread is tying them onto wasps and then letting them go so they were like a kite. And you'd give them all, and then you could wheel them back in. And then you could let them put a pencil in there and let them take off. Wheel them back in. I don't know what you mean by spool of thread, though. Tappings on the window. Tap, tap, tap. All right, so who's got some scary stories they want to share? Anybody? Anybody got some spooky stories? If you don't have a spooky story, then I'm going to have to play a spooky story. I've got to do that if you guys don't do that. I forgot how I did that. You should take that meter into one of those mines. I keep getting weird noises and have heard voices coming from. Yeah, Brad, whenever you want to do that, you let me know, and I'll follow you in there. I don't go in by myself, but I'll be more than happy to follow you into any one of those mines. Okay? Yukon Cornelius, welcome. You got one? Share it with us, Yukon. Share your story with us. We all want to know about your scary, spooky story. You ain't going, Brad. I went into a couple mines, but that's when that, Weird Charles was out here because, he's not afraid of anything, that guy. So I'd follow him in some of those mines, but I wouldn't go in by myself. All righty, we'll play this couple of these scary, spooky stories, and then we will be back. How's that? Tommy, there was news story about it on the Mojave Sheriff's Department webpage. Yeah, it was on Channel 3, I think, talked about it too. the local station here talked about it, and it was it's been on the Facebook, a lot of things. But anyway, here's a couple stories, and then we'll be right back, folks. I think. Let's see.
Sometimes, if somebody dares you to do something, don't. You never know where a dare can take you, or what can happen. Especially if you take a dare on a dark night, around midnight. As a matter of fact, I dare you to listen to the story I'm going to tell. Double dare you to listen to it at midnight. Well, maybe you can, because it starts this way. Just a bunch of boys sitting around and talking and telling ghost stories, trying to scare each other. And they just happened to talk about an old man who had just died and been buried just that day. The old man never liked the boys, and the boys never liked him. And so they talked. One of the boys said the old man was so mean that if any of them sat on his grave, the old man would probably reach up and grab him. And one of the boys, his name was Jim, said that was just a lot of nothing. Even if someone sat on the grave at midnight, nothing would happen. One of the boys dared him to do just that. And Jim said it was silly. And then they all dared him. And what else could he do? He said he didn't believe in ghosts or anything like that, so he took the dare. And to prove that he would do what they wanted him to do, he said he'd leave his jackknife sticking in the grave for proof. And that was that, until that night. At 11:30, a half hour away from midnight, Jim got out of bed, dressed, remembered to take his penknife, and carefully left his house. He didn't want to wake his parents because they wouldn't understand about going to a graveyard at midnight. And then, when he was outside, he remembered he had forgotten his flashlight. Oh, but it didn't matter. It was a bright, moonlit night. Just the sort of night to visit a grave, if you didn't want to be frightened. Even so, even if it was pretty light outside, Jim was afraid. After all, he didn't really know too much about ghosts. He just didn't believe in them. But maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe there were ghosts. And he began to wish he hadn't taken the dare. But a dare was a dare. And he came to the graveyard. He opened the iron gate of the graveyard. The moon shone on the gravestones all around him. And they stood white, looking like ghosts. And he looked for the old man's grave. And just at midnight, he found it. He opened his jackknife, knelt down, and plunged it into the old man's grave. Nothing happened. It was after midnight. He had gone through with the dare, and he started to get up. But he couldn't. He couldn't move. Something was keeping him there on the grave. The old man? He didn't know. All he knew was that he couldn't move. The next day, Jim didn't show up at school. His friends wondered where he was. Probably out too late. They laughed about that. But after school, they walked over to the graveyard to see if Jim had left his knife where he said it would be. They found the knife. And they found Jim lying on top of the old man's grave. He had plunged the knife through his own coat and had pinned himself to the ground. He couldn't move. He had died of fright. Now, that's not very scary, is it? Or is it?
Ooh. Oh, man. Yes, David, he was frozen with fear. Let's see. Soup Freak's mess. I was at a restaurant in Anaheim and felt someone watching us. Asked the waiter, and he told the story of an 11-year-old girl who died in the place in the 50s. Used to be a mansion that scared the waiter. Ooh, let's see. Let's see. I think I got something here. Let's see if I got it here. I think I got it here. Maybe I don't, but I thought I did. Let's see if I got that here. Back in, maybe I don't have that here. I thought I had it here. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's right here. Back in the early 90s, when I first moved to Arizona, one of the first jobs I took was at a radio station. I know, can you believe that? That many years ago. We're at 22, almost 23. So there's 23. I was like close to over 30 years ago. Wow. That's a long time ago. Anyways, we did a lot of parodies, funny, commercials and stuff like that. And I made this commercial way back then, so I got to play it.
K-Hop is proud to sponsor this year's Haunted Castle. This is definitely the best haunted castle in the nation. Beginning October 15th at 8 p.m., the castle doors will open. Admission is only $4 and will run till October 31st. All proceeds go to the United Way. So come on out. If you dare.
Ooh, spooky. Let's see, Paul. 3 weeks after my wife and I got married, we went to bed for the night. And a few minutes later, I yelled, "Bae," and she pulled the covers over our heads. Didn't get franks and beans for 2 years. Okay. Okay, bat. Paul, what's a bat? Why do you say bat for? So, where did Cornelius go? He was going to tell us a story. Oh, there he is right there. Okay. Yukon, he says, for 2 nights in a row at 2 a.m. each time, my girl wakes me up and asks me, what is that noise? I look around in the bedroom and can hear a loud buzzing sound coming from inside the wall. I go around to the other side of the wall and I can hear that one of my metal detectors is on and making the buzzing sound as if there was metal touching the coral. And what's the rest of the story, man? You're leaving us hanging. that we want what? So was there a ghost in there turning on the metal detector or what? I shut off the detector, and again, the very next night at 2 a.m., it happened again. We're getting this in little increments here. Terry says we should have been locked up with the crap we pulled on Halloween. You only pulled that on Halloween, Terry? We used to go around all the time in toilet paper people's homes, put the doo-doo bags on the porch, you fill it full of dog crap and light it on fire and ring the doorbell and take off. We used to put the M80s in the screen doors and ring the doorbell, light it and take off and all that type of stuff. Yeah. I shut off the detector. And again, the very next night at 2 a.m., it happened again. How come at 2 a.m.? We're waiting for the answer. Yukon. We're waiting for the answer, Yukon. Okay. Cheers, everybody. Happy Halloween. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Cheers and happy Halloween. Cheers and happy Halloween. Let's see. Do I got anything else to play here? I don't. Oh, I got another spooky story I can tell, I guess. So I got to show it. Okay. Yukon says, I do not know. Happened this week. If it happens again, I will record my detectors. What you drinking, 805? No, I didn't bring me 805 tonight. I was drinking. I'm being a whiner tonight. I'm drinking Galileo Family Sweet Strawberry Wine. Wayne, Jack, what do you have planned for the weekend? Nothing. I plan to be right here for the weekend. Right here for the weekend. Let me see if I got another. I think I got another story here. Let me see if I can find this other story. Jolly Juice presents. Let me see. Video file. I think I got another story, a couple stories we can play. Let's do that. Let me find them. I think I got them. Let's see. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. I thought I did, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. I thought I did, but I don't see them in there. I don't see it. I thought I had one. Huh. I swore I had one. Let's see. Where would it be at? Maybe I don't have one, I guess. Let's see. I guess I don't have another one. I know I did. I thought it was in my video. So, anybody else got any scary stories you want to share while we're just hanging out, looking for stuff that's not there, that I thought was there but is not there? Halloween? Nope, that's not it. Let's see. Nope, I guess I don't. I thought I had two of them in there. I know I did. But I wonder where I put it at. That's the problem. That's my problem. I got to figure out where I put it at. So I'm looking for something here. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So let me see if I can find out where I put them at. And in the meantime, you guys can just, Brewers Prospecting, welcome. Brewers, that's pretty good. Let's see. I get so many things in my folders here that it's hard to find anything where anything would be at. But I will look. I'm looking. So don't mind me mumbling to myself as I'm just looking around and looking for stuff. Let's see. Making Don. Welcome, Don. I am just trying to find some stuff here. I had another story, but sometimes when you download these things, I don't know where they go to. They disappear and they put them themselves in different folders and all that type of stuff. What is today? Today is the 26th, so that's not it. And I don't know where they keep putting stuff at as they move stuff around on me. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something. And if I find it, I will play it. But in the meantime, let's see, what's this here? Let's see what this is. 3 alleged. Let me see what this is. See if this is it. Let's see if this is it. Oh, yeah. Terry, once we put dry ice in a bucket that was nailed to a piece of plywood.
This happened shortly after I turned 15 years old.
Then we put some
As a birthday gift, my parents had given me an Xbox. I was even given my own monitor, which allowed me to play it in my room. My room was upstairs, and in the weeks after my birthday, I of course spent a lot of time up there. It was a Saturday night. I was talking in an Xbox party chat with 2 of my school friends. Both of my parents were out of town at a work convention for the weekend, so I was home alone. I had my headphone volume pretty loud, but during a pause in our conversation, I heard a thumping sound come from downstairs. If you've ever been home alone as a kid, you'll know that any abnormal sound gets your mind imagining the worst. I turned down the volume and took one headphone off my ear. Nothing happened for the next 5 minutes, but shortly afterward I heard the same noise again. I told my 2 friends about it this time, and they both encouraged me to go check it out, joking how someone might have broken in. I laughed and agreed to do it during the next break in our game. When that came, I took my headphones off and started walking towards the stairs. I began walking down them, and as I did, I began to hear soft whispering. I was only halfway down, but I completely froze up. I intently listened, trying to make out whether what I was hearing was actually real or not. Eventually, I crouched down to get a look into the living room. There, I saw 4 fully grown men, all completely covered in black, silently walking around. I genuinely couldn't process what I was seeing. All I knew is that I had to get back upstairs. I slowly started crawling back up them, and of course, one of the steps let out a loud creaking noise. It echoed throughout the house before returning to silence. There was no way they didn't hear it. Thinking quick, I ran to my room, put on my headset, and told my friends to call the police to my house. They sounded confused, and now in a serious tone asked what was going on. I didn't feel like I had enough time to explain, so I just told them to hurry and threw my headset down on my desk. I knew that locking myself in my room would be an obvious sign that I was inside. I still locked the door and closed it behind me, but instead I hid in the bathroom further down the hallway with the light off and door slightly cracked open so that they wouldn't think to check it. I could hear multiple sets of boots slowly walking up the stairs as I sat in silence. They kept getting louder until I could hear banging on my bedroom door down the hall. Not banging like trying to get my attention. Whoever was doing it was clearly trying to break down the door. Voices started yelling out, saying things like how I needed to open the door if I didn't want anything bad to happen to me. I was absolutely horrified. I got up and started desperately opening the bathroom window. I guess I'd made too much noise, because a set of boots started heading down the hall. Just as the bathroom door fully opened, I managed to dive out of the window head first. I landed badly on my neck, but still managed to look back up at the bathroom window. A silhouette stood motionless looking back at me. That's when the backyard door slid open and 3 men came running out towards me. I tried getting up to run, but I couldn't in time. All 3 of them started grabbing me and pulling me back towards the house. But this would be interrupted by the distant sound of police sirens. The 3 of them stopped. They looked up at each other. They then sprinted to the backyard fence, climbed it, and I never saw them again. A few moments later, and the police showed up in the backyard. I told them which way the men had gone, to which a couple of them started off in that direction, while another stayed with me. The only man that was caught that night was the one inside the house. The other 3 that ran were never found. As police were asking me questions, my 2 friends who I was playing Xbox with pulled into the driveway on their bikes. Even to this day, I still routinely thank them for calling the cops, as it likely saved my life. Found left behind in the house were 4 different knives and a couple fully loaded pistols. It was the middle of the summer. I was 10 years old and my younger brother was 7. We were outside playing various games with other kids in our neighborhood, but we finally headed home when the sun went down. Now, maybe once a week our parents would go out to a different restaurant around town, leaving my brother and I home alone. Most of the time they'd tell us before they went out, but if we were outside playing, sometimes they'd just leave us to our game. When we got back home, no one was there, so we assumed this was the case. Confirming this was a note left on the kitchen counter. My brother and I both went to the living room to watch TV, something we usually did before bed. After half an hour, it had gotten completely dark outside. Just then, I heard the doorbell ring, followed by knocking. At first, I thought it was our parents getting back, but it definitely wasn't normal for them to use the front door, much less not have a key for it. The chances of the garage door opener they had not working and them forgetting a key were extremely low. Although I realized it was still possible, so I left the living room and went up to the front door to see who it was. As I approached the door, I heard a man's voice yell out that he was selling Girl Scout cookies. I was extremely confused considering the time of day. I look through the peephole and see a grown man, completely alone, no cookies in hand, and not with his daughter as I was expecting. The man yelled out once more, before moving his hand to the door handle. My heart dropped, realizing that we had forgot to lock the door when coming in for the night. The door handle slowly started turning, to which I quickly engaged the deadlock. A clicking sound echoed out. It was too loud. Clearly the man had heard it and now knew someone was inside. I waited a minute, before once again looking through the peephole. The man was now looking through our living room window, directly at my younger brother, who was completely unaware to what was going on. What's more is, from where he now stood, I could make out a gun holstered on the left side of his waist. I ran back to the living room and closed the blinds. I told my brother we should get some ice cream downstairs in the basement. I needed to get him away from any windows, but I knew that if he knew what was going on, he would freak out. He agreed and we went downstairs. I silently locked the basement door behind us. We ate our ice cream, and eventually I could hear the hum of the garage door opening from upstairs, signifying that my parents were back home. Later, when my brother wasn't around, I told them what had happened. They were horrified and understandably called the police. Police inspected the place, and one of the first things they noticed was how the front door's lock had clearly been tampered with, basically confirming the man had ill intent and was trying to break in. What he'd planned to do when he got inside, though, I can't say for sure, and neither can police. The man was never identified. To this day, my younger brother doesn't even know this whole event took place. As a kid, I lived dead in the middle of nowhere. My family owned a farm, and so we lived in a farmhouse which literally had a dirt road leading up to it. I want to say I was 16 at the time. It was getting close to midnight. On this particular night, I was home alone. I was sitting on our couch in the living room watching a movie with Bear, our family dog who we'd had for years. He was getting old in age, and therefore wasn't the most active dog and could easily sit through a whole movie motionless by my side. It was during one of the quieter parts in the movie when Bear's ears suddenly shot up and his head turned around. I muted the TV. I myself didn't hear anything. Bear stayed completely focused in this one direction. It was towards the house's front door. My first instinct was somebody was at the door, but this just wouldn't make any sense considering the house's location. You have to go completely out of your way to get to our house. I don't think we've ever had someone come to our door that we weren't expecting. Like, this stuff just doesn't happen out here. I brushed it off as just an animal and turned the TV's volume back on. Shortly after I did this, Bear started quietly growling, still looking in the same direction. In the time I've known this dog, I'd heard him growl a total of maybe 2 other times. So, by this point, I figured whatever was out there, I had to at least go check it out. I grabbed one of our family's many guns and went up to the front door. I opened it and saw nothing, so I walked out. I got maybe 30 yards from the front porch and looked out into the night. Nothing but black emptiness, so I turned back around. I took one step back towards the house before I stopped myself. Sitting on the edge of the deck was a man curled up in the fetal position. It looked like he was trying to hide himself. I stood there trying to think of what to do next. I was not about to walk up right next to this guy, so as silently as I could, I went around to the back door. It was unlocked, because we always left our doors unlocked. That's not something we typically have to worry about way out here. Right as I got inside, I ran back to the front door, shut and locked it. I then did the same with all windows and doors around the house. I called the police, and after a full 30 minutes, they finally arrived. They searched around the whole property, but didn't find anything. This was somewhat relieving. A part of me honestly started to think I had just imagined the sighting. After the police left, I ultimately decided to just go to bed. The next morning, I get up and go down to the kitchen to start making breakfast. But when I went to grab a knife to cut some fruit, I couldn't help but notice one of the knives was missing. I stood there confused. I was sure it was there the night before. I got a bad feeling and decided to call the police again. 2 officers showed up, and this time I had them search inside the house. I stood outside while they did so. After a few minutes, the 2 officers came back out with an old, scrawny-looking man in handcuffs. The man was found under the basement stairs, gripping a knife with both hands. It was the knife missing from my kitchen. After a short-lasting struggle, the man was detained. This was the same man that was hiding outside. After giving the whole story to police, they believed that most likely he had simply gotten in through the front door during the time it took me to go around the house and get in through the back door. From what I know, the man said nothing when questioned about what he was doing way out here, or what he had planned. But the fact that he grabbed a knife couldn't mean anything good. I still think about what would have happened had the man searched any more of the house that night, and possibly found me sleeping.
Ooh, spooky. Wow. Okay, so what were we reading? Terry says, once we put dry ice in a bucket that was nailed to a piece of plywood and had a long rope on it. Then we put some eerie green stick lights in it and pulled it through the graveyard that was beside the busy highway. We stopped a lot of traffic. Yes, I could see that happening. All right, who's got some spooky stories they want to share? I was once 5 feet away from Jim Baker. Ooh, now that's scary. Now, okay, I remember when I was probably like, then I probably was only like 10 or 11 years old. And similar to the story that we heard earlier, there was a grave in a cemetery, and there was this guy named Emo, and his grave was like a cage, and it had a light inside of this little cage, a light that I guess maybe it only came on at nighttime or something like that, but it was Emo. And so the rumors were that you'd go into the graveyard and you'd run around the graveyard 3 times and you'd yell, "Emo, Emo, come out and play with me." And then this light would light up inside this little container thing. And some people would say, like, if you stabbed the knife in the ground, you couldn't get it back out. It would stay there. So one night there's a group of us, and we climbed the fence and we got inside the cemetery. And we were over there looking for Emo's grave, and they had a night watchman, and he come running after and yelling at us. And anyway, he started shooting us with salt rock, and I got stuck in the ass with salt rock. And I still got that scar today, and that stuff does burn. But I did get it off. I did make it out of there. We all made it out. But never did ever know if Emo really was real or ever. I never saw Emo come out to play with us though. But all right, Terry, take care, man. Thanks for hanging, bud. Anyways, this is going to be a short little video or short little show here. We just wanted to come on for Halloween. It is Halloween, for heaven's sakes, So we have to do the Halloween special every year. And that's just what we do here for Halloween. So, anybody else got any stories they would like to share? Anybody? These scary stories are scaring the heebie-jeebies out of me. Are you getting scared, Patty? I'm sorry. I remember at this day camp thing that we used to go to as a kid. I was probably only 10 or 11 years old too. We used to go to this day camp. Parents would drop us off during the day, and then they'd come back and pick us up at nighttime. And one time we went down to this I don't know what it was called. It was like called Memory Grove or something like that, I think. And people was running all over. But one of the girls that was there, I was talking to, and we were walking around and talking. And I started talking to some guys, and next thing I knew, I looked around and she was gone. And I don't know what happened to her. She just disappeared. And I thought that was kind of weird, because it's like wide open grass and everything like that. And so I asked, the guys, what happened to that girl? And nobody even knew there was a girl there. So, and then anyways, later on, she told me that these two people in white showed up and took her away. Well, I don't remember anybody showing up. Anyways, I don't remember what all happened to her or whatever. I just remember her saying that two people in white showed up and took her away. And she went with them, and she would never tell me whatever happened, so don't know. Let's see. Nothing scarier than knowing Biter is in charge. Yeah, that's pretty scary. Not everybody week, spook out and see what happens this week. God bless y'all. I remember one time when I was in Stanton, we toilet papered the camp. I remember that. I used to toilet paper a lot of houses when I was a kid. Go around and toilet paper. It was always bad if they didn't get it off before the rainstorms came. If you ever got toilet paper, you had to get it off before the rains came because it would just stick to glue like and just deteriorate and stick all over there. Mike, oh, I agree. That scares the crap out of me. Yes. Welcome, Mike. So anyways, if anybody's got any scary stories you'd like to say, like to share, or you want me to play another scary story? Want me to play another story, or is that you guys all done hanging? You tell me what you want. You want to hear another story? I can play another story. If somebody's got something to say, another scary story themselves, you guys can share that yourselves. It's all up to you. I don't know too many scary stories. I don't like to be scared. I'm not into that type of stuff. Halloween's probably one of my favorite times of the year. I used to always do a lot of dress ups and really get totally into it, like some people do Christmas. I used to do that with Halloween's years ago and really decorate the house and the yard and put fog and smoke and graveyards all over the place and voices all over. But I always got into Halloween. I always enjoyed that. Halloween, I think, is what used to be my favorite time of the year. Now, I don't know, it's just another day, I guess, but back then it was pretty fun. Do you get any trick-or-treaters there? No, not out here. There's nobody here. I mean, I live on the highway that nobody is here. You guys in some of the larger campgrounds, like Tommy, they might get a bunch of them. How about the story of Slick Dick Wick and the town of Winchester? Tommy, why don't you tell everybody that story? Yeah, he was just involved with Winchester. See, I used to dress up during Halloween, dressed up as a pregnant nun once. Bet you that went over really well, huh? A pregnant nun. I was going to bring in, I've got all types of Halloween costumes. I've got I probably got 10 or more Halloween costumes. And originally I was going to bring in, and every time I went off the screen to come back, I'd be in a different Halloween costume. But I thought, that's a lot of work to haul all that stuff out. So I just brought out the one, my favorite one. Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's the only time I get to wear that is once a year. I put it on out in the desert, and I run around out in the desert. People start shooting at me. In a hobbit. Yeah, so you're not supposed to wear, clown costumes out in the desert. People don't like that, especially if there's a group of people out there prospecting, and you come walking out of a mine shaft at them. They, you got to make sure they don't have pistols on them because they start shooting at you. But that would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Get up there, a group of people's on their way up to some place, digging. It's got where Brad was talking earlier, where there's some mines up there, and you hear these Tommy knockers. That would be funny if, when they're up there digging, you come walking out of the mines and chasing them down the hill. Yes, that would be funny. Anyways, anybody got any stories to tell? Not. Guess we can always wrap things up here and call it a Halloween night, a boo spectacular show. Cheers. Yeah, so next Wednesday will be past Halloween. But they say there's ghosts here. We were on a lot of history on this property, and I know that in the clubhouse out here at nighttime, I don't like to walk through the clubhouse just because I get a very bad feeling at one part of the room that's just it's just like, I don't know, I just know there's something there, something eerie, and I don't like it. So I don't like to go in there at nighttime. That's how scared I am. Okay. Nobody has any stories or nothing they want to share? If that being the case, then we're going to wrap things up here then. So we're going to thank you guys for hanging with us, taking the time, spending your Wednesday with us, inviting us into your homes and living rooms and wherever you guys happen to be, driving or wherever you're at. And let me see if I can find where this, let's play this commercial here. Let me play a commercial here.
Well, hi, this is Tom Baudet. I'm proud to be part of the Gold Fever radio program, and, well, you should too. We always get out and find a little bit of gold. Sometimes it's a lot, well, sometimes it's just a little. But all in all, we have a lot of fun. Come join us for one of our Gold Fever extravaganzas. You'll be glad you did. So until next time, I hope you get out and find a lot of gold. And remember, I'll keep a light on for you.
All right, so that's cool. So anyways, Mike, good night. Yukon, good night. Tommy, Richard, Jay, Marabella. Okay, you guys all take care. I want to thank you guys hanging, like I said. So until our paths cross again, you guys all get out and get yourself some of that shiny little bit of gold, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Be safe out there. Have a great Halloween. Watch the videos on YouTube if you're a subscriber. Cool. Appreciate you if you're not subscribed to the channel. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week.